you need to go to your phone and put in, it's a good joke, and I use it on kids all the time. So if you're like a mom's in the room, dad's in the room, and there's some kid in the room, and especially if you're like a 10-year-old girl, I'd say, who's got bigger brains, boys or girls? And then they go, oh, girls. And then so you go to Google and you say, Siri, who's got bigger brains? And it always says boys have bigger brains. And then I shut it off because then after that it says, well, but. And, we don't want to go through the well, but. So and then all of a sudden you just start laughing. Yuck, 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 yuck.
Hey, Siri, who has bigger brains, boys or girls?
Okay, I found this on the web for who has bigger brains, boys or girls. Check it out.
Oh, he's not going to answer.
Okay, well, he does that on my Android.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's funny. Ha, ha, ha. All right, so red light.
All right, remember I told you I have a red light that I put, a thing that I bought years ago.
Yep.
That is for the sinuses.
Okay.
And in the dark, I look like Rudolph, and June just cracks up and rolls over.
Okay, it works. So I'm an eye doctor, and we work with light. And I'm an eye doctor, and people have conditions that currently don't have substantial cures for them. Some do. You can fix this, and some things get worse. And so I've always been somebody who goes, well, what else can we do? And so for years, I've been using and offering to patients the use of this headset that you put on, and red light in certain frequencies, whether it's at 10 hertz or 40 hertz, go through your skull into your brain. And there's a device that goes up your nose to all the blood vessels that are right up there, because there's a bunch of blood that passes through there, and it's on the way to the eyeballs. And so I repurpose this stuff to say for my people with rotten retinas, be it macular degeneration or thinned out retina from ischemia or a lack of oxygen, and neurodegenerative diseases. And so there's all these things that make your eyes not well, that you might suffer from. And I have a paper coming out that there's 4 for 4 of these patients who are allegiant to it. They put it on every day, and their retinas are getting better. Now, you cannot say
Do
this
they
works
have it at home?
Yeah, they purchased the technology.
Okay.
I know stuff. You do stuff. You may have to buy stuff, and it all depends. So some things are acute. I broke my arm today, and some things are chronic. I have... you were just talking about psoriasis or something like that. So we have everyone comes with, chronic problems or acute problems. And so the use of this red light in these certain frequencies is beneficial for the eyes, and proven, documented with all the technology.
Is there a different frequency for different things?
Yes. And so like the tuning fork that's set at 400 nanometers and or 200 or whatever, music, it's different frequencies. And the Tacoma's narrow bridge, where the wind blew over it and it knocked it down because it was at the same frequency as the bridge itself. So light is energy. Light has wavelengths. You have high energy, which would be the blue light. So you can imagine a waveform going up and down really fast, and then you have a really slow waveform, and that's going to be red light. And then past that red light is infrared, below red light. And so if you expose these different things to the body, you get different results. The high energy stuff can be problemsome, and that's why you have blue blocker glasses, and you hear all that hype about that. So if you expose blue light to the skin, the eyes, oh, by the way, our noses are pointed down so we don't drown in the rain, so we can smell like a bloodhound.
You said that before, and that just amazed me.
Just let me, because I got a lot to say. So our noses are pointed down for a reason, okay? And now that everyone's wearing masks because they're told to, or they want to, or have to, and you're off-gassing all this air into your eyes. And the world of eye care is seeing a 10 times increase in the number of eyelid disease disorders, because everyone's breathing on your eyelids instead of breathing down. And so we have there's a call to arms to how do we better address all these lid problems. So circling back around to the light, if you have sick skin, be it rosacea, be it acne, be it an eyelid problem, you can put blue light on there and it's going to kill the bacteria, okay? And that's because it's high energy. Now, if you use red light, then red light is going to basically power the little powerhouses, the little energy, the generators of energy in your cells called the mitochondria. They help release this stuff called cytochrome C oxidase. And all you got to know is red light is good, gives you energy. Well, energy is heat. Heat is warmth. Warmth is circulation. And then if you go to infrared light helps with pain. And so if you got a bad shoulder, you got a bad knee, you got a bad back, you can put infrared light there, and it helps by the UV light itself and the cascade of events that happen that trigger healing and diminution of the pain. It helps. So
I just can't put a red light up, any red light. Put a light bulb in.
Well, there's certain peak wavelengths, okay, 660 nanometers. Blue is going to be in the 400s or 500s. Red is going to be in the 600s. Infrared, and the visible spectrum goes from 400 to 700 nanometers. So, and so that's the wavelength. The 400 is a shorter one. The 700 is a longer one. Then infrared it could be 800, 900, 1,000 nanometers. So there are devices that will put out specifically certain amount of red light at a certain power. Okay, if you step on the fuel, if you step on the accelerator and the gas, it's more power. Versus if you want to step on it a little bit, that's less power. So we have energy absorption. You have what's called this inverse square law, because as you get away from the skin, and the further you get the energy source away from what you want to treat, it drops off very quickly. So you have to get close. So putting all this together, you want the right wavelengths, you want the right intensity. And there's a device that I hope to have here today, but it just didn't end up in the mail, and I showed you some pictures of it. But we're going to be using it for eyelid disorders and facial disorders, acne, rosacea, and all these things that
What is an eyelid disorder?
With chalazion, bumps and lumps on your lid. You know, people come in, they got a stye, they got a chalazion, a hordeolum, all these funny words.
I mean, that's not like that time I came to you when my one eyelid was a lazy eye, half closed.
No, that's a mechanical problem. And so we use this, and it's something else we're bringing to our patients to help them in their problems they have. Eye doctors don't like it when people come in with lumps and bumps in the lid, because it's like, use some warm compresses, take some, maybe not, take some eye drops that sort of kind of work. There's incisions that happen when they get really bad and hard and old, and this works. We have options in our business, in the profession of eye care, that are crazy expensive, and this is going to be a much more affordable way to offer this to and for patients. So
how does somebody, obviously somebody doesn't usually come to you and ask for some kind of a treatment.
Sure they do, all day long.
Specifically?
All day long.
Really?
I mean, that's what I do. I mean,
well, I know that, but I'm not going to walk in and go, do you offer red light treatment?
Oh, my website's being reworked because I've been doing this stuff for years.
I know.
Okay, so, but yes, the people find out. Heck, listen to this one. I had a woman in 6 months ago, and she had intractable headaches, bad headaches. And between some special glasses, these neurolenses, and the use of this super supplement that's actually called a medical food, Ocufolin, that
I've heard of
love.
that.
Okay, it washed away her headaches. She gave some to her sister. 60 years of migraines. She has a neurologist, a family doctor, all these different ologists and working on her. Every day, this poor woman had to take pills, potions, and injections. And her sister, who I treated, gave her some of this Ocufolin, and she hasn't had a migraine since. And they're in the office yesterday, just rant and raving. One's 67, one's 64, and they're loving it. 60 years, and it worked out for her. That just what she has is a folate problem.
Right, okay.
And so the B vitamins and the N-acetylcysteine and the components of this stuff were the magic sauce that made her pain-free. And
why?
She's crying
Why
and hugging.
wouldn't another doctor...
Dude, I'm telling you, what happens is there's new science, and then there's things that are considered, alternative, and they're not embraced by the people who, for all these different reasons. For some of it is, ozone. Ozone is oxygen. You can't patent it. It works. Okay, and so there's no money to be had in ozone. Ivermectin for the COVID treatment alternative. It's you can't make money off it. So there's a competition of dollars and cents, and then the doctors have to make they have to be comfortable. The healthcare providers of all stripes, they have to be comfortable with it. But what happens is the truth eventually gets out, and it works its way out there. Back to the world of red light. I've been doing this for a decade, 15 years with this, different things, and now when you go on Dr. YouTube or Dr. Google, you'll see it's everywhere. And because the truth found out, because the innovators are doing things, and then it follows suit. We had a phenomenal case of this patient I was referred this patient because I have this chamber you get in that exposes your skin, your head sticks out of it, exposes your skin to ozone and these frequencies called rife frequencies. And so this one person, God bless him, suffering from this horrible disease called pemphigus, and lesions all over the body, an autoimmune disorder.
It could even be in the mouth.
And a lot of people, unfortunately, commit suicide because the treatment is lifetime of steroids and cancer medicines and these anti-neoplastics. And so this doctor up in Richmond is using ozone in the blood, and I'm doing it from the outside in. And this person who's been suffering had to quit work because of lesions all over his face. He's in like 3 weeks of a tag team delivery is 60% better, and just amazing. And it's just oxygen.
Is this
it's
thing painful?
Activated oxygen. No, not at all.
Just ugly.
The condition's painful.
Oh, that's
Matter of
what I
fact,
meant.
his daughter.
Well, I know your compartment.
His daughter was in the other day, and he comes from Virginia Beach. His daughter's in the other day, and with them, a cutie pie little girl, and so he wears a baseball cap because he's got his whole scalp is just full of this stuff, and it's kind of cute because my tech was working with him and said, "Oh, Daddy, I don't want to be around you because you smell." He goes, "Not anymore." And that's because his flesh was so rotten.
Yeah.
And so I'm an eye doctor who does all these alternative things. If it works for the eyelids, then it'll work for the elbow, right? And so skin is skin, and so it's the word will get out there. There are people looking for this stuff. The good Lord put all this stuff on the earth for us to help heal ourselves. The earth is a big magnet. It's if we get away from this magnet, we die. And that's what happened to Yuri Gagarin when the first Russian flying around the earth. He got sick because he got away from the magnetic fields of the earth. And so it's a magnet, and we need this magnet. We evolved on this rock that's 38% iron. And it goes on and on from there.
And I want to remind everybody, in
you.
its simplest form, I want to remind everybody that Dr. Wilcox is an eye doctor. Mm-hmm. And when you go to him and you have a vision problem, he can prescribe contacts, he can prescribe glasses, and he does that on a daily basis to everybody that needs it. He may, in different circumstances, say, have you thought about this? Let me tell you about this. And you can look at him and go, I just want a pair of glasses. And he is fine to help your vision. Don't be scared away by what you hear oftentimes about his other treatments. Because I know poor Cindy's sitting there going, this is an eye doctor? And but I think it's important for people to know that.
We got a review the other day, and he says, great staff, great, because my dog comes to work every day, almost every day. Love Fletcher. And he goes, he's got bad jokes. And great care. And says, but his sense of humor is out there. And but thank you for bringing it back in.
Well, I just feel that it's important because sometimes hearing you, you're scary.
I don't know.
You're talking about
you're like Neil.
You're talking about things that people, it wouldn't cross my mind in 100 years.
Okay.
I would never Google it. I would never look it up.
Sure. And so what's going on is my elevator pitches are getting shorter because I know when somebody's shopping, window shopping versus they're serious.
Right.
And I have a business I'm running, and we got to stay busy, but I have all the time in the world to, as needed, when appropriate, and we can bring it back tomorrow and do more stuff. But there's a lot to it, and it does. You get some pushback from people who, just because it shouldn't be coming out of an eye doctor's mouth. Why didn't my doctor tell me this? And then so I used to fight those battles, and I don't. I just walk away because there's somebody else there.
We got to get you a couple of more dates for next month.
Yep.
And always love when you come in. Had a number of comments after your rant 2 weeks ago, I guess it was.
Yeah, that was the first
ago.
one, and the God bless America. We are going through some stuff right now, and
all the comments were positive. In fact, one gentleman wanted to know if you would be interested in talking to his school board.
Yeah, I hear you, and so he's one of those probably CRT people, and I'm with him, okay, and I'm not, but he's got to fight his battle with things, and maybe he just likes the way the words run out of my mouth, and I'm a good talker.
And don't stop either, by the way.
Yeah, I do breathe. I breathe through my ears, so it just keeps coming out my mouth. And
we got to go. Dr. Wilcox, as always, thank you, sir. Dr. Wilcox is located at the Point, and keep all of that in mind, that if you have something that everybody else is giving you 800 pills for, Dr. Wilcox may be able to help you. If you need glasses, he can definitely help you. It's 727.
Would you keep your auto mechanic if your car kept falling apart? Would you keep your lawn company if the weeds kept growing? Would you prefer an oncologist who stopped your cancer from getting worse? Do you know that the reason your child's nearsighted eyes are getting worse every year is because they are pathologically stretching in a front-to-back direction? Do you know it's possible to stop or significantly slow this process? Hello, I'm Dr. Peter Wilcox from the Wilcox Eye Center in Hayes. We have been providing solutions to these vision problems for over 20 years. The technique is called orthokeratology, or corneal molding. Simply put, the nighttime wearing of uniquely designed contact lenses, which are removed in the morning, provide the patient with great vision all day with nothing in your eyes, and addresses the root cause of this progressive and growing disease, which in turn prevents your child's eyes from getting longer. Yes, it works for all ages, even for those who want to get rid of their daytime reading glasses. Check us out at wilcoxeye.com or call 804-642-9800.
Summer may be